Introduction. Train your mind to win every day. Welcome to Train Your Mind to Win Every Day, not just a book, but a battle-tested blueprint for unlocking your potential, building mental toughness, and creating unstoppable momentum in your life. This is not theory, this is not fluff, this is a mindset revolution. You see, winning doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice, and that choice begins in your mind. Every day, life throws distractions, challenges, and negativity at you. And every day, you have two options. You can react like the average person, or you can respond like a warrior. This audiobook is about teaching you how to respond, how to take control, and how to train your mind to show up strong, focused, and fired up every single day. Whether you're chasing greatness in your business, your fitness, your relationships, or your personal mission, one thing remains true: your mind leads, your life follows. Chapter 1. The morning battle. Win before the world wakes up every day. A battle begins the moment you open your eyes. It's not against the world outside, it's against the voice inside. That whisper that tells you to hit snooze. That comfort that begs you to stay wrapped in your blanket. That quiet surrender that says, you can start tomorrow. But champions, real winners, understand something crucial. The battle for the day is won in the first hour. Your morning is not just a routine, it's your declaration to the universe, I'm ready. It's your daily contract with greatness. Every time you rise with purpose while the rest of the world sleeps, you gain a silent advantage, because success doesn't begin at the office or in the gym or on the stage. It begins in your mind at sunrise. Imagine your life as a battlefield. Your goals, dreams, and ambitions. They're out there waiting for you to fight for them. But what's your first weapon? Your mindset. And when you train your mind to win first thing in the morning, you don't just prepare for life, you dominate it. Let's talk about the morning rituals of high performers. CEO, Olympic athletes, Navy SEALs. They don't wake up and scroll through their phones. They don't hit the snooze button 5 times. They wake with discipline. They rise with a plan. Why? Because they understand momentum. The first decision you make in the day creates a ripple, a wave, a pattern that continues. If your first choice is powerfully intentional, like getting out of bed with purpose, meditating, moving your body, reading something uplifting, your mind takes that cue and says, we're in control today. There's a famous quote, if you win the morning, you win the day. But let's break that down. Winning the morning doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means choosing purpose over passivity. It means showing up for yourself before the world demands that you show up for it. Let me share a story. A young man named Marcus grew up in a rough neighborhood. Drugs, violence, poverty. It was all around him. But one thing his grandfather told him stuck. If you want to change your life, change your morning. At first, it sounded too simple. But Marcus listened. He started waking up an hour earlier. He would jog around the block while the streets were still quiet. He read one chapter of a self-development book every morning. He practiced gratitude. Over time, something shifted. He got stronger, not just physically but mentally. He got focused. He got clear. That discipline opened doors. College, job offers, relationships. Today, Marcus is a mentor, a coach, a leader. And it all began with winning his morning. The truth is, we all have access to that same power. No matter your background, income, or circumstances. You control how your day begins. You control what thoughts enter your mind in the first waking minutes. And those minutes are sacred, because your mind, like a sponge, absorbs what you feed it early in the day. Feed it stress, chaos, or negativity, and guess what follows you? But feed it peace, clarity, strength, and you become unstoppable. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You just need a powerful one that aligns with your mission. For some, it's journaling. For others, it's cold showers or breathwork or prayer. The method doesn't matter as much as the mindset. The commitment, the intention to tell the world, I own this day. This day does not own me. And yes, it's hard, especially at first. There will be mornings when your mind tries to sabotage you. when it tells you sleep is more important than growth, when it argues for comfort instead of courage. But those are the moments that separate the average from the elite, the weak from the warriors. Winners don't wait until they feel like doing it. They do it until they feel like a winner. So how do you start? Simple. Set your intention the night before. Prepare your clothes. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Choose one powerful thought or affirmation to start your day. When the alarm rings, don't hesitate. Jump up. Breathe deep. Move your body. Say out loud today, I train my mind to win. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how your focus sharpens. Watch how you stop reacting and start leading. Because ultimately, the morning isn't about waking up early. It's about waking up with purpose. Every sunrise is a second chance, a new beginning, and the people who win consistently in life, they're not the smartest or strongest. They're the ones who choose to show up early every day and take control of their fate. This is your call to action. Don't let another morning slip by in mediocrity. Don't let comfort kill your greatness. Rise with fire, rise with vision, train your mind, not just to survive the day, but to own it. Win the morning, and you'll win much more than time. You'll win your future, because remember this, how you start your day is how you shape your destiny. Chapter 2, The Voice Within Mastering Self. There's a voice that speaks to you more than any other voice in the world. It's not your boss, your partner, your parents, or even your closest friends. It's the voice inside your own head, the one that speaks in silence, the one that narrates your life, judges your every move, praises your wins, and sometimes buries your confidence beneath a flood of doubt. This voice, your self-talk, is either your most powerful ally or your most destructive enemy. If you want to train your mind to win every day, you must start by mastering that voice. Because here's the truth. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If your inner dialogue is filled with I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, or I always fail, your actions will follow that script. But change the script and you change your life. Think of your mind like a garden. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed. Negative self-talk plants weeds, fear, insecurity, hesitation. But positive, empowering self-talk plants seeds of confidence, growth, and resilience. You don't grow a garden by accident. You grow it by intention. So, ask yourself, what am I planting in my mind every single day? Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Layla who had always dreamed of being a public speaker. But every time she stood in front of a group, her hands shook. Her voice trembled. Inside her mind a storm raged. You're going to mess up. They'll laugh at you. Who do you think you are? It was brutal, and for years that voice won. But one day, Layla heard a speaker say something simple but life-changing. You don't have to believe everything you think. That struck her. She realized the voice in her head wasn't her truth. It was her programming, so she started rewriting it. Every morning, she stood in front of a mirror and said, I am a powerful speaker. My words change lives. I am confident, calm, and captivating. At first, it felt like a lie. But she kept saying it, again and again, day after day, and something incredible happened. Her voice began to steady. Her hands stopped shaking. Her confidence started to grow, not overnight, but consistently. That old inner critic, it got quieter. Today, Layla speaks to thousands, helping others rewrite their inner stories, all because she chose to master her self-talk. Here's what most people don't realize. Your mind listens when you speak. And it doesn't differentiate between a joke and a belief. If you constantly say, I'm such an idiot, I'm always broke, I can't lose weight, your mind will find evidence to prove it true. That's the power of confirmation bias. But flip the script, and your mind will look for evidence of your strength, your growth, your brilliance. This doesn't mean you ignore reality or pretend everything is perfect. Mastering self-talk isn't about lying to yourself, it's about leading yourself. It's about choosing words that align with the version of you that you're becoming, not the version that's stuck in the past. You might ask, how do I change my self-talk if it's been negative for years? Start by noticing it. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Catch yourself in the act. If you hear that voice say, I'm not smart enough, pause, replace it with, I'm learning every day, I grow through challenges, I'm getting better. It might feel awkward at first, but over time, you're not just changing your words. You're rewiring your brain. Science backs this up. Studies in neuroplasticity show that repeated thoughts literally reshape the structure of your brain. Just like lifting weights builds muscles, repeating positive self-talk builds mental strength. It trains your mind to default to power instead of panic, to courage instead of fear. Here's a technique you can start using today, the 3 C's of self-talk: catch it, challenge it, change it. Catch it. Notice when your inner voice turns negative. Don't judge it, just catch it. Challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is this helpful? Is there a better way to think about this? Change it. Replace it with something empowering. Speak to yourself like you would to a close friend, with strength, with compassion, with belief, and remember, you are always listening. Speak words into your life that lift you higher. Speak vision into your future. Speak resilience into your challenges. Speak life into your goals. Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest athletes in history, was known not just for his fists but for his voice. Long before he was a champion, he told the world, I am the greatest. People laughed. But he didn't stop. He believed it, spoke it, lived it. Until the world believed it too. That wasn't arrogance, that was intention. You have the same power. Maybe your victory starts with something as simple as I am worthy, or I can do hard things, or I don't quit. Speak it. Own it, believe it, and if you don't believe it yet, say it until you do, because the moment you change the way you speak to yourself, you begin to change the way you show up in the world, and that's how you start winning, not once in a while, but every single day. Chapter 3. Obstacles or opportunities reframing failure. Everyone loves to talk about success. The shiny trophies, the standing ovations, the breakthrough moments. But let's be honest, nobody makes it to the top without tripping on failure first. And yet, most people treat failure like the end. They treat it like a closed door, like a verdict that says you're not enough. But here's the truth that winners live by. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the training ground for it. If you want to win every day, you have to stop fearing failure and start reframing it. You have to see it not as a wall, but as a mirror that reflects what you need to grow, a mirror that shows you where to sharpen your mind, strengthen your character, and redirect your focus. Let's go deeper. What is failure really? It's not falling short. It's not rejection. It's not a bad result. Failure is feedback. It's your life saying, here's what doesn't work. Now let's figure out what does. That's not punishment. That's progress. Think about this. Every master was once a mess. Every expert was once a beginner. Every winner was once the one who lost the most. What separated them wasn't talent. It was how they responded to failure. Let me share a powerful story. There was a young woman named Tara who dreamed of becoming a professional dancer. She auditioned for a prestigious company, and she gave it everything: hours of practice, sweat, tears. But when the results came, she wasn't selected. Crushed and humiliated, she almost gave up. But her mentor told her something she never forgot. If this door didn't open, it's not because you're not ready. It's because there's something you still need to learn. So Tara went back. Not with defeat, but with determination. She recorded her auditions, studied her form, took feedback seriously. 6 months later, she tried again, and this time she didn't just get accepted, she got a solo spot. Today, Tara tours the world, teaching others how to fall forward, because that's what failure is, a forward motion, if you choose to see it that way. Here's the mindset shift you must make. Failure doesn't define you. It refines you. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, but only if you're willing to stop asking, why me, and start asking, what's this trying to teach me? We've been conditioned to believe that failure is shameful, that it means you're weak or not cut out for greatness. But look at the people who have changed the world. Steve Jobs got fired from the company he started. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. If they had let failure stop them, we would have never known their names. They didn't just face failure. They flipped it. They made it fuel. You can do the same. The next time you fall, don't say I failed. Say I learned. Say I got closer. Say this is part of my path. Because the only true failure is quitting. Everything else is just training. Now let's get practical. How do you reframe failure in the moment when it hurts? Start by changing your language. Don't say, I messed up. Say, I tried something new. Don't say, I blew it. Say, I gained experience. Language shapes meaning. Meaning shapes mindset, and mindset shapes results. Next, embrace something called productive failure. This means you don't just fail and walk away. You fail and extract the lesson. What went wrong? What would you do differently? What can you improve? Champions are students of their own mistakes. They analyze, they adjust, they adapt, and remember this, the greater your dreams, the greater your failures might be. That's not a curse. That's a clue. It means you're stretching. It means you're brave. Playing it safe might protect your ego, but it will never fulfill your potential. Risk is the price of reward, and failure is the proof that you dared to try. Sometimes the universe delays your dream not to deny you, but to develop you. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. The weight of failure builds the muscles of perseverance. The confusion of failure forces clarity. The sting of failure builds humility, and that combination, that's the mindset of someone who doesn't just chase wins. They're wired for them. Here's one more story. A young entrepreneur named Dev started his first business at 24. It failed. He lost money, time, even some friendships. Most people told him to get a regular job, but Dev wasn't done. He took every lesson from that failure and launched again, and again, and again. By the age of 30, he had built a multi-million-dollar company, not despite his failures, but because of them. So the next time you face a setback, remember this. Your failure is not the end, it's the edge of a breakthrough. You're not falling apart, you're falling into place. The pain you feel now is just the price of becoming the person who can carry your dream. And here's your call to action. Stop avoiding failure, embrace it. Learn from it, let it humble you, let it sharpen you. Let it transform you into someone who is no longer afraid to fall. Because you know exactly how to rise. Failure is not your enemy, it's your mentor. Your mirror, your maker, and when you train your mind to see it that way, you'll never fear losing again. You'll only see it as another step toward winning every single day. Chapter 4. Your mind, your fortress building mental resilience. Life isn't easy. And no matter how much you prepare, plan, or pray, there will be days when everything feels like it's falling apart. Days when you question yourself. Days when the pressure is too much, the noise is too loud, and your strength feels too small. It's in those moments, those painful, silent, heavy moments, that your success is determined, not by what happens to you, but by what happens inside you. Because when the world tries to break you, you need a mind that refuses to bend. A mind built like a fortress. This is mental resilience. Mental resilience isn't about being emotionless. It's not about pretending to be tough. It's about training yourself to bend without breaking, to fall without quitting, to lose without losing your hope. Resilience is the inner power that whispers, I will rise again, even when the odds scream otherwise. But resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, brick by brick, decision by decision. And every time you choose to push through discomfort, every time you choose progress over pity, you're reinforcing the walls of your mental fortress. Think about a fortress, solid, unshaken, standing tall through storms and time. That's what your mind can be when you train it right. And let me tell you, resilience isn't built during comfort. It's built in the fire. It's built when you're tired but keep moving, when you're doubting but keep believing, when you've been knocked down but get back up, not once, but 100 times. Let me share a story with you. There was a man named Darius, a marathon runner. On the day of his biggest race, just 6 miles in, he tore a muscle in his leg. Medics rushed in. He could have quit. No one would have judged him, but Darius had spent years training his mind to endure. Through the pain, he kept going, limping, dragging, fighting for every step. He didn't come in first. But when he crossed that finish line hours later, the entire stadium stood up. Why? Because resilience wins respect even more than talent. Darius didn't just run a race. He proved the power of the human will. That power exists inside you too. To build mental resilience, you must first accept one powerful truth. Life will test you. People will doubt you. Plans will fail. Emotions will surge. And none of that is a reason to stop. In fact, it's all part of the process. Resilient people don't ask for an easy life. They ask for the strength to conquer a hard one, and that strength starts with ownership. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Own your struggle. Own your response. Own your comeback. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding pain. It means learning how to carry it with grace and grit. Start by changing how you interpret struggle. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" say, "What is this building in me?" That question shifts everything. It gives your pain purpose. It turns your setbacks into strength training for your soul. Resilience also means building strong habits that support your mental energy. When you're tired, your mind is more vulnerable to fear and doubt. That's why sleep, exercise, healthy food, and daily rituals aren't just wellness tips. They're resilience tools. They're how you recharge your fortress walls. You also need to watch your inputs. What you read, what you watch, who you surround yourself with. These are the bricks or the bulldozers of your mind. If you consume negativity all day, your resilience will crack under pressure. But if you feed your brain inspiration, wisdom, truth, you'll be strong even in the storm. And here's a powerful practice: mental rehearsal. Resilient minds prepare for battle before it begins. Olympians do this. Navy SEALs do this. They visualize the challenge. They feel the pressure in their minds before they ever step into the arena. That way, when life punches, they've already trained to take the hit and keep going. Now, let's talk about fail. You are not just experiencing it, but bouncing back from it. Resilience means turning failure into fuel. You tried and it didn't work. Good. Now you have data. Now you're stronger. Fall in love with getting back up. Make it your trademark. Another key to resilience is emotional control. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means not being ruled by them. Yes, you can feel exhausted and still keep moving. Yes, you can feel afraid and still take action. Resilience is when you acknowledge the storm within you, but don't let it drown your mission. One of the best things you can do to strengthen your mental resilience is surround yourself with people who reflect your strength back to you, who remind you who you are when you forget. Community isn't weakness, it's reinforcement. Even the strongest fortresses need allies. Finally, understand this: resilience isn't a moment, it's a mindset. You don't just build it once, you build it every single day. In every workout, every difficult conversation, every failure you rise from. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're stacking bricks in your mental fortress. This is your call to action. Train your mind to be stronger than your circumstances. When life hits you hard, and it will, don't just survive. Rise, roar, push back, be unshakable. Because when your mind is built like a fortress, there is no storm that can destroy you. There is no failure that can break you. There is no fear that can stop you. You are not made to fold under pressure. You were made to be pressure, to hold the line, to fight the fight, to win. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. So today, make the decision: I will be resilient. I will be unbreakable. I will train my mind to win every single day. Chapter 5, The Power of Daily Habits, Small Wins, Big Victories. If you want to know where your life is heading, look no further than your daily habits. Not your dreams, not your goals, your habits, because your future isn't built in the big, dramatic moments. It's built in the small, quiet, often invisible actions you repeat every day. That's where victory is born. That's where greatness takes root. You see, everyone wants the results: the body, the business, the peace of mind, the freedom. but very few people are willing to master the process, and the process lives in your habits. Those small choices you make when no one is watching, what time you wake up, what you say to yourself in the mirror, whether you move your body, feed your mind, or scroll endlessly through distraction. Those small decisions seem harmless, but over time they stack up. They either build your dreams or bury them. Let me tell you something powerful. Success is not one big leap. It's a staircase, and every habit is a step. You don't get to the top by hoping or wishing. You climb one step at a time. Let me take you into the life of Marcus. At 28, Marcus was stuck, tired, broke, overweight, and filled with self-doubt. He kept waiting for the right time to change. Then one day, someone told him something that hit him like a lightning bolt. Your life is perfectly designed for the results you're getting. That one line flipped a switch, so Marcus stopped trying to change everything overnight. He picked one habit, waking up 30 minutes earlier to exercise, just 30 minutes. He didn't join a fancy gym. He didn't overhaul his diet. He just committed to one small win every single morning. After 30 days, he added 10 minutes of reading, then journaling, then better meals, and day by day, brick by brick, he transformed not just his body, but his identity. Today, Marcus runs a business, mentors others, and has a quiet, unshakable confidence. Not because he got lucky, but because he mastered his daily system. That's the magic of small habits. They create momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Here's the problem most people face. They overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. They try to sprint, burn out, and fall back into old patterns. But winners think differently. Winners play the long game. They ask, what can I do today that compounds over time? It's like planting a seed. You don't water it once and expect a forest. You show up every day, you nourish it, you protect it, and eventually, quietly, steadily, it breaks through the ground. That's what happens with your habits. They grow roots before results. They shift your identity before they shift your world. If you want to train your mind to win every day, here's your mantra. Consistency beats intensity. It's not about doing something massive once in a while. It's about doing something small every single day. Want to be mentally strong? Meditate for 5 minutes daily. Want to be healthy? Move your body for 20 minutes. Want to grow your business? Make one call. One post, one action, those are small wins. And small wins done consistently lead to big victories. Now let's get practical. How do you build winning habits? Start with the identity habit. Don't just do the action. Become the person. Don't say, I'm trying to work out. Say, I'm the kind of person who moves every day. Don't say, I should read more. Say, I'm a reader. Habits stick when they align with your identity. Next, use the 2-minute rule. Any new habit should be so easy you can do it in 2 minutes. Want to write a book? Write 1 sentence. Want to meditate? Just sit still for 2 minutes. Why? Because starting is the hardest part. 2 minutes removes resistance. And once you start, you usually keep going. Also, stack your habits. Attach a new habit to an existing one. After I brush my teeth, I'll write 3 things I'm grateful for. After I make coffee, I'll read 1 page. This technique, called habit stacking, makes new behaviors automatic. And here's something most people forget. Track your wins, celebrate the streak, put a check mark on a calendar, use a habit tracker app. When you see your progress, your mind connects effort to reward, and that creates motivation. Now let's talk about the hard days, because they'll come, days when you don't feel like it, when life gets messy. When you fall off track, here's the rule: never miss twice. Missing once is human, missing twice becomes a pattern, so even if you slip, you get back on fast. That's how you stay in motion. That's how you protect your progress. Here's what I want you to remember. Discipline is freedom. Most people think habits are restrictive, but the truth is, the better your habits, the more freedom you create. Financial freedom, health freedom, emotional freedom. Habits give you power over your life. They give you momentum when motivation fades. They are the invisible architecture of a winning mind. So here's your call to action. Don't wait for the perfect moment to change. Start small, start now, choose one habit, just one. Make it so easy you can't fail, do it every day, watch it compound, watch your identity shift, watch your confidence explode, because when you master your habits, you master your life. And that's how you win, not once in a while, but every single day. Chapter 6. Focus is your superpower, eliminate distraction. Ignite momentum, let's get real, we're living in the noisiest time in human history. Our minds are bombarded every second. Notifications, emails, ads, social media, endless scrolling. Everyone and everything is fighting for your attention. But here's the hard truth. If you don't learn to control your focus, someone else will. Focus isn't just a productivity tool, it's a superpower. It's the ability to shut out the noise and zero in on what matters. In today's distracted world, the person who can truly focus has the edge. They finish what others start. They build what others only dream about. They move forward while others spin in circles. Let's break this down. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If your mind is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your attention is diluted, your progress is delayed. But when your focus is sharp, your actions become powerful. You stop reacting and start creating. There's a powerful story I want to share. A young woman named Lena had a dream of writing a novel. For years, she talked about it, made notes, even wrote a few chapters, but she never finished. Why? Distraction. She was constantly multitasking, checking her phone, flipping between tabs, jumping from idea to idea. She was busy but not productive. One day, she made a radical decision. No distractions for 2 hours every morning. She turned off her phone, blocked social media, told her family she was unavailable, and focused. In 6 months, the book was done. Today, she's a published author, not because she had more time, but because she took back her attention. That's the power of focus. It's not about having more hours. It's about making your hours count. Let me ask you something. What's stealing your focus right now? Is it your phone, the endless stream of updates? Is it comparison, scrolling through other people's highlight reels? Is it overthinking, jumping from one thought to another without clarity? Here's the truth. Distraction is the enemy of greatness. Every time you stop to check a message, every time you pause to look at your phone, you don't just lose seconds, you lose momentum. Studies show it takes the brain 20-25 minutes to fully refocus after a distraction. That means if you check your phone 5 times an hour, you never really get into flow. You're busy, but you're not building. So how do we fight back? How do we take our focus and turn it into a force of unstoppable momentum? Start with this. Protect your first hour. Your first hour of the day sets the tone for everything. Don't waste it reacting to the world. Don't scroll, don't check email, instead create. Plan, move, breathe. Train your mind to be proactive, not reactive. Next, schedule deep work. Block off time to do the things that matter most, without interruption. Turn off your notifications. Put your phone in another room. Use apps like Forest, Freedom, or Focus Keeper. Your brain needs space to concentrate deeply, and that can only happen when you intentionally protect your time. Another key principle, one thing at a time. Multitasking is a myth. It feels productive, but it's a trap. Your brain can't fully engage with more than one complex task at once. So instead of doing 10 things halfway, do one thing with full intensity. Focus turns effort into excellence, and don't forget the power of your environment. Your surroundings either support your focus or sabotage it. If your desk is cluttered, if your phone is within reach, if your workspace is full of distractions, you're setting yourself up to fail. Design an environment that helps you stay locked in. Clean space, calming energy, tools at hand, everything in its place. Make focus easy. Here's another truth. Your mental focus is tied to your physical state. If you're tired, unfueled, or sedentary, your brain won't operate at its best. Move your body, hydrate, eat foods that fuel clarity, take regular breaks. The body and the mind are partners. When one lags, the other suffers. Now, let's talk about mental clutter. Sometimes the distractions aren't external. They're internal: worry, regret, anxiety, resentment. These emotions chew through your focus like termites in wood. This is where journaling, meditation, and gratitude come in. These aren't luxury rituals, they're mental hygiene. They help you clear the static so your mind can tune in to what matters most. Here's the thing: focused people aren't superhuman. They've just trained their minds to ignore what doesn't matter. They've chosen clarity over chaos, intention over impulse, discipline over dopamine, and that's something you can build. Let me challenge you today. Take 1 hour, just one, turn off everything, set one clear goal. And do only that. No multitasking, no checking, no switching, just pure, undistracted focus. When that hour is over, you'll feel something powerful: momentum, the energy that comes from knowing you actually did something that matters. That's not just progress, it's self-trust, and that self-trust is the foundation of unstoppable confidence. So here's your call to action. Take your focus back. Stop letting the world dictate your attention. Reclaim your mind, choose what matters, eliminate what doesn't. Guard your focus like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Because when you control your focus, you control your results. When you focus deeply, you rise quickly. And when you train your mind to focus like a laser, you don't just win the day, you dominate it. Chapter 7. The inner voice rewriting the stories you tell yourself. There's a voice in your head. You hear it every day. Sometimes it whispers doubt. Sometimes it screams failure. Sometimes it reminds you of your past mistakes or tells you you're not good enough. That voice, that's your inner narrative. And here's what most people don't realize. Your inner voice shapes your outer world. What you tell yourself when no one else is listening will determine everything, from how you show up, to what you believe you're capable of, to the risks you take and the goals you chase. Your mind can be your greatest coach or your cruelest critic, and the difference between winning and quitting often comes down to one question. What are you telling yourself right now? Let's pause and think about it. If someone else talked to you the way you talk to yourself, would you want to be around them, or would you walk away? The truth is, many of us are in toxic relationships with our own minds. We carry old stories of not being smart enough, strong enough, worthy enough, and we replay them like broken records. But here's the breakthrough: you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. That means you can change the narrative. You can catch the lies, challenge the negativity, and rewrite your mental script. Let me share a story. A young woman named Raina always dreamed of starting her own business. She had the skill, the passion, the knowledge. But every time she tried, her inner voice would tell her she'd fail. You're not cut out for this. Who do you think you are? You're not ready. So she'd stop. Again and again. Until one day, a mentor asked her, what if that voice isn't yours? What if it's just an echo from someone else's fear? That moment changed everything. She began journaling her thoughts, separating truth from fear. She started replacing every negative line with a new script. I am learning, I am growing, I am capable. And step by step, she built a business and a new version of herself. Your story can change too. And it starts with this powerful truth. You are the author. Every day, your brain tells you stories to make sense of your world. But not every story is accurate. Some are built from past trauma. Some are inherited from family. Some are created by comparison, but here's the key. Just because you've believed something for a long time doesn't make it true. Beliefs can be rewritten, and it starts with awareness. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Catch the critic. Notice the patterns. Are you calling yourself lazy, dumb, ugly, unworthy? Where did that voice come from? Whose fear are you carrying? Whose doubt are you repeating? Once you catch the thought, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this mine? If the answer is no, you have the power to replace it. Here's a practical strategy. Name your inner critic. Give it a face, a name, even a silly voice. When it shows up, you'll see it for what it is. an old script, not your truth, and then you can choose a new thought, one that supports your growth, not your fear. Affirmations aren't magic, but they're powerful tools. Not because they instantly change your life, but because they consistently change your lens. If you start every day telling yourself, I am focused, I am resilient, I am building something meaningful, your mind will start to look for evidence that supports that story. Your brain is wired for pattern recognition. When you repeat a thought, you strengthen the neural pathway behind it. So the more you feed your brain empowering, purposeful stories, the more automatic they become. And eventually, that new inner voice, your coach, your guide, your champion, becomes louder than the old one. And remember, your voice isn't just affecting you, it's shaping how you treat others. When your inner world is full of judgment, fear, and shame, you project that into the world. But when your inner voice is full of grace, purpose, and strength, you become a light for others too. Think of it like this: your inner voice is the director of your life's movie. It controls the lighting, the angles, the mood. You can film the same day in 100 different ways, depending on the voice narrating it. Choose the voice that sees your potential. Choose the lens that reveals your strength. Let's get practical. Here's your 3-step challenge to rewrite your inner voice. Awareness: start journaling for 5 minutes a day. Write down the recurring thoughts you hear. Identify your dominant inner narrative. Interrupt the pattern when a negative thought shows up. Don't fight it, question it. Say out loud, that's not true, that's just fear, that's not who I am. Replace and repeat. Choose 2-3 powerful affirmations and say them out loud daily. Speak them with emotion, anchor them in truth. This is mental training, this is rewiring, and above all, be patient with yourself. Changing your inner voice is not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about committing to honesty, compassion, and strength. It's about becoming the person who speaks to themselves like someone they love. So here's your call to action. Become your biggest encourager. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the world to believe in you. Speak belief into yourself, because the day you change your inner voice is the day everything else begins to follow. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to believe you're worthy of growth, worthy of effort, worthy of peace. And when you believe that deep down, the world around you will begin to mirror it. Rewrite the story, reroute the path, reclaim your power. Chapter 8. The energy equation: mastering your physical, emotional, and mental fuel. If life is a race, then energy is your fuel. It doesn't matter how fast your car is or how clear your destination may be. If your tank is empty, you're not going anywhere. You can have the best intentions, the most well-structured plans, the biggest goals in the world, but without energy, all of that grinds to a halt. This is what most people get wrong. They think success is about time management, but it's not just about time. It's about energy management, because what's the use of having 24 hours in a day if you feel exhausted, irritable, distracted, or defeated for most of them? Winning every day isn't just about grinding harder, it's about fueling smarter. It's about mastering the energy equation. Let me say this clearly. High performance is a result of high energy. You don't just stumble into peak focus, powerful presence, or daily discipline. You create it by mastering the 3 pillars of your energy: physical, emotional, and mental. Think of them as your internal battery packs. When they're charged, you're unstoppable. But when they're drained, even the simplest tasks feel like climbing a mountain. Let's start with physical energy, the foundation. Your body is your vehicle. If you don't fuel it right, move it regularly, and rest it deeply, everything else suffers. When you're physically depleted, your brain slows down, your confidence drops, and your decision-making falters. And yet so many people try to outthink a problem that actually needs to be slept out, moved, or out-nourished. Here's a truth bomb: movement is medicine. You don't need a fancy gym or a hardcore program. You need 20 minutes of consistent movement every day. Walk, stretch, lift, dance. Just move, not for aesthetics, but for energy. Because movement floods your body with oxygen, boosts endorphins, and sharpens your focus. Then there's nutrition. Your brain is a high-performance machine, and it needs premium fuel. If you're constantly feeding it sugar, processed junk, and stimulants, you're not just slowing down your body, you're fogging your mind. Hydrate, eat clean, prioritize real food. Your energy doesn't just come from what you eat. It comes from what your body can actually use. And let's not forget the power of rest. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a weapon. While you sleep, your brain detoxes, your body recovers, and your energy resets. Want a better mood, more focus, and a sharper memory? Protect your sleep. Set a routine. Shut off screens early. Create an environment that helps you recharge, because burning out is not a badge of honor, it's a warning sign. Next, we move to emotional energy, and this is where most people overlook their power. Emotional energy is your ability to stay calm, centered, and purposeful in the face of pressure. It's the internal stability that lets you handle setbacks without spiraling, bounce back from failure without quitting, and deal with people without draining yourself. And let's be real, emotions are contagious. If you're constantly surrounded by negative, toxic energy, whether it's from other people or your own self, your emotional battery will stay in the red zone. That's why emotional boundaries matter. Choose your circle wisely. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Guard it. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because your performance does. A powerful way to recharge your emotional energy. Gratitude, it's not just a feel-good practice, it's a mental shift. Gratitude flips your focus from what's missing to what's working, from what's wrong to what's right. Start each day with 3 things you're grateful for. Write them down, say them out loud, train your heart to see abundance, and watch how that shifts your energy. Finally, we come to the crown jewel, mental energy. This is your focus, clarity, creativity, and resilience. And nothing drains mental energy faster than decision fatigue, distraction, and overthinking. Every decision you make pulls from your mental fuel tank. That's why successful people simplify where they can. They automate small choices, what to wear, what to eat, so they can focus their brainpower on what truly matters. Want more energy? Simplify your routines. Now let's talk about mental clutter. Constant scrolling, multitasking, and consuming without intention will fry your circuits. Your brain is not meant to be on all the time. Build in mental breaks. Step away from screens, breathe, journal, meditate. Give your mind time to recover, because creativity and insight don't show up in chaos. They rise in stillness. Mental energy also comes from purpose. When you know why you're doing something, you tap into a deeper source of drive. Passion gives you power. Purpose gives you endurance. Remind yourself daily, why does this matter? Who am I becoming? Connect your actions to your deeper mission, and suddenly the energy flows. So here's your equation. Energy equals movement plus nutrition plus rest plus boundaries plus gratitude plus simplicity plus purpose. Master that, and you master your days. Let's not sugarcoat it. There will be tough days, low energy days, that's life. But if your energy system is strong, you bounce back faster. You don't stay stuck. You move forward, not perfectly, but consistently. Here's your challenge starting today. Treat your energy like your greatest asset. Audit your day. What drains you? What fuels you? Make one upgrade in each category: physical, emotional, and mental. Drink more water, set one boundary, take a walk, cut one distraction. These aren't small things. They are vital rituals for a high-performance life, because in the end, it's not just about time. It's about showing up fully charged to the time you have. When your energy is optimized, your mindset sharpens, your confidence rises, your results compound, and that's when you start to win. Not just once, but every single day. Chapter 9, Winning Under Pressure, Turning Stress into Strength. Pressure is a part of life. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't give you a heads up. It arrives unannounced, often when you're already stretched thin, when the stakes are high, and when the margin for error feels razor thin. But here's the truth. Pressure isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. Everyone faces pressure, from the athlete taking the game, winning shot, to the entrepreneur closing a make-or-break deal, to the parent juggling work, kids, and responsibilities, pressure is universal. The difference isn't whether you feel it. The difference is how you respond to it. Winners don't fear pressure, they perform through it. Think about diamonds, they're forged in extreme pressure. That's not just a poetic metaphor, it's physics. Without pressure, coal stays coal, but with pressure, in time, it transforms into something rare, something valuable, something unbreakable. You have that same potential inside you, but only if you train your mind to face pressure, not flee from it. Let me tell you a story. There was a young boxer, talented, fast, and disciplined. But in the ring, under the bright lights, when the crowd roared and everything was on the line, he froze. Not because he wasn't prepared, but because he had never trained his mind for that moment. His coach pulled him aside one day and said, "You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training." That one sentence changed his life. He stopped just training punches. He started training his nerves, his breathing, his focus under pressure. He became a champion. Why? Because he made pressure his ally. Here's the secret. Stress isn't always bad. In fact, your brain was built to respond to challenge. Stress is what sharpens your senses. It increases alertness. It prepares your body for peak effort. What makes it destructive is not the stress itself, but your interpretation of it. If you see pressure as a threat, you panic. If you see it as a challenge, you grow. This shift is called stress reappraisal. It's been studied in athletes, military units, emergency responders, people who face pressure every day. When they interpret stress as a sign their body is preparing to perform rather than as something to fear, their performance improves. Their confidence rises. They don't run from the moment. They rise into it. So how do you win under pressure? You prepare your mind like a muscle. You condition it to stay calm when everything inside you wants to freak out. Here's how. First, breathe. It sounds simple, but when pressure hits, most people stop breathing deeply, their chest tightens, their thoughts race, their focus narrows. This is where breath becomes your anchor. Practice deep, controlled breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Do this for 2 minutes. You'll activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your brain that tells you you're safe, you're in control. This doesn't just calm you down. It sharpens your focus. Second, visualize the moment before it happens. High performers don't just visualize success. They visualize the pressure. They mentally rehearse feeling nervous, hearing the crowd, sensing the stakes. And then they visualize themselves staying calm, composed, and effective. When your brain has seen the moment before, it doesn't panic. It executes. Third, use power language. When pressure hits, your inner voice can either sabotage or support you. Most people say things like, "I can't mess this up," or "This is too much." Winners train their language. They say, "I've prepared for this. This is where I perform. Pressure makes me better." This isn't toxic positivity. It's strategic conditioning. Your words are the software of your brain. Speak strength. Fourth, break the moment into the next move. Pressure overwhelms you when you think too far ahead. You're not just thinking about the speech. You're imagining it going wrong. You're not just thinking about the exam. You're picturing the failure. Instead, ask yourself, what's the next move? Just one. Focus on the first word of your speech, the first breath before the run, the first slide in the presentation. Clarity kills chaos. And finally, reflect and recover. After a pressure-filled moment, take time to debrief with yourself. What worked? What didn't? How did you handle it? This is how confidence is built, through reflection. Pressure-tested moments, when reflected on properly, become reference points for future strength. They become proof that you can do hard things, and that proof, that's priceless. Remember this, pressure is a privilege. It means you're in the arena. It means you're doing something that matters. If you weren't aiming high, you wouldn't feel pressure. So welcome it, train for it, master it, because on the other side of pressure is pride, power, and progress. You're not supposed to feel ready all the time. No one does, but you can feel willing to show up. Willing to breathe through the nerves, willing to focus on the next move. That willingness, that's courage, and courage creates momentum. So here's your challenge. This week, when pressure comes, pause, breathe, and say to yourself, I was made for this moment. Because you are. You've trained for it, you're built for it, and pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. Chapter 10. The victory loop. Creating a lifestyle of daily wins. Winning is not a moment. It's not a single achievement. It's not a lucky break or a dramatic climax. Real winning, true, lasting success, is a rhythm. It's a lifestyle, a way of moving through the world with intention, energy, and excellence. And that's what we call the victory loop. The victory loop is the system that turns one good day into 10, 10 into 100, 100 into a lifestyle. It's the cycle that transforms your mindset from I hope I win to I expect to win, and not because of arrogance, but because of preparation, discipline, and momentum. Too often, people chase success like it's an event. They grind for one big goal, one promotion, one breakthrough, but what happens after that? The excitement fades, the discipline slips, the habits dissolve, and they find themselves right back where they started, tired, uncertain, and unmotivated. Why? Because they didn't build a loop, they built a moment. Let's change that. Let's build your victory loop, a system for winning every single day, no matter the external circumstances. It's not about perfection, it's about progress with purpose. The loop has 4 parts: clarity, action, reflection, and reinforcement. Master this cycle, and you won't just train your mind to win today. You'll be wired to win for life. Let's start with clarity. You can't win if you don't know what winning looks like. And yet, most people start their day without a plan, without a focus, without intention. That's like getting in a car and just driving. No destination, no map, no timeline. Then they wonder why they feel lost. Every day, define your win, not your to-do list. Your real win. What action, if completed today, would make you feel proud, purposeful, and powerful? Maybe it's delivering your best at work. Maybe it's making time for your health. Maybe it's showing up with presence for your family. Your win might change daily, but your clarity must stay constant. Once you've defined the win, move to action. This is where most people stall. They wait for motivation, they overthink, they procrastinate, but you're different. You understand that action creates clarity, action builds momentum, action silences doubt. So, what does action look like? It's choosing one powerful step and doing it with focus. It's not trying to win the entire year today, it's just winning today. That might mean starting your morning routine with discipline. It might mean blocking 90 free minutes to work. It might mean sending that email you've been putting off. Action isn't about size, it's about intentional motion. Now here's where the magic happens: reflection. This is the step most people skip. But champions, they make it sacred. At the end of each day, they don't just collapse into bed and hope for the best. They review, they learn, they adjust. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I improve? Where did I stay aligned with my values? Where did I drift? This isn't self-judgment, it's self-leadership, because a day well reflected is a day that compounds. It becomes fuel for better decisions tomorrow. And finally, we arrive at reinforcement. You've done the work, you've taken the action, you've reflected. Now celebrate, not with ego, but with gratitude. Acknowledge the win, even the small one, especially the small ones. Because small wins stacked daily become unstoppable momentum. Reinforcement is what teaches your brain, this matters, this feels good, let's do more of this. It's why a quick journal entry, a fist pump, a quiet smile of pride, it's all powerful. You're teaching your subconscious that winning isn't rare, it's routine. Let me give you an example. There was a young woman building a business from scratch. Every day she battled self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and fear of failure. But she committed to the victory loop. Each morning she wrote down her win of the day. Each evening she reflected. Even on bad days, she found one thing to reinforce. Over time, her brain rewired. Confidence replaced doubt. Momentum replaced hesitation. Within a year, her business exploded not because of luck, but because of consistency. That's the victory loop, and it works. Not just in business, but in health, relationships, mindset, and every area of life. You don't need motivation. You need a system that breeds motivation. That system is this loop. Clarity, know what you're aiming for. Action, do one powerful thing. Reflection, learn from the day. Reinforcement, celebrate and anchor the win. Rinse and repeat every day, not perfectly, not always easily, but consistently, because in the end, consistency beats intensity. One intense workout won't change your life. One motivational speech won't change your mindset. But one good decision, repeated daily, absolutely will. So here's the truth. You don't become a winner. You train as one. You choose to be one in your habits, in your focus, in your energy, not once, but every single day. You've made it through this journey, through self-belief, discipline, mindset, energy, pressure, and now this, the loop that ties it all together. Now it's time to live it. Here's your challenge, starting today. Build your own victory loop. Write down your daily win, act on it, reflect on it, reinforce it, and watch how the days stack. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how the results compound, because winning isn't about the big moments. It's about the small ones, done with purpose, repeated with discipline, and celebrated with pride. You're not waiting for victory anymore. You're creating it.